Okay, and we've started. Is it green on the green? Are we green? Are we green? Are we green? Let's hopefully. We are starting. What's up? Hopefully at some point this is going to get cut off. I got to figure out better on how to make sure that we're live in the right way. But what's up, everybody? I'm the Everyday Dad and the Everyday Wife. You can see us all the time now because we're setting everything up. So let us know. Let us know how it's looking. We're live. Hope everybody's having a great day. Totally new setup for the live stream. I'm super excited about it because everybody kept saying they wanted to see more of the Everyday Wife. They kept telling me that the interaction was much better. So, hey, now we're going to be on there the same. I tried doing it so that the background was, like, cool, but it destroyed the bandwidth and made it, like, totally not usable.
The background cool? What do you mean?
Well, I had the background where it was, like, waves and, like, moving.
Ooh, like nausea and
well, no, I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
I thought... but what's up? We got a lot to talk about today, so let's just get started. So first up, we're doing it since we're doing new for the live stream itself. Why not try something new today? Normally I'm a caffeine addict for the live stream, but we're gonna try something different, a little different today. We're doing some
Southern pecan.
Some pecan.
Pecan.
We've been arguing about this for like the last hour. We're gonna do some pecan ale while we talk about technology stuff. So let's have some fun. Cheers to everybody. I did get carded today because
You did?
I did. I'm young.
Man.
I'm a youngin. Are
we cheersing? Everybody get your beverage.
Cheers. All right.
Someone has to be designated driver of this show.
Yeah, because we're so far away from each other that, we'd have to drive between each other. Mark Nichols, $10. Well, thank you so much. That brings something up that I continue to forget to mention on the live streams. Our super chats are on, so if you want to say something to the channel, you can send a comment to the Everyday Wife. Her screen name is Wonder Wife, because I get so busy interacting, it's hard to see all of the comments. Or if you want to send a super chat and you get it popped right up to the front like Mark Nichols did right there. Thanks again, Mark. We really appreciate it. And if you do a super chat of $6 or more, we will send you your very own Everyday Dad postcard and magnet. They're really great, and they go well on fridges.
Oh.
That was a softballing that over to you.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fair enough. Okay, so
reading. I'm sorry.
So stop reading the comments for a second. So the main.
That's like what I do.
I know.
I'm like I told you. I'm ill prepared to look at the camera the entire time because I'm trying to follow the chat. I see people are tagging me and trying to talk to me, and now you're trying to ask me about what you're talking about, and I can't do both.
Okay, well then stop reading the comments. Oh, she'll be back to the comments. I promise. So the. What?
I see.
What?
Okay, so people are asking, like, are we in the same room?
We are in the same room.
But
are
also,
we?
Like,
hold on. Are we in the same room? We could be in totally different places. That's my alarm. I couldn't actually. So I totally reset up my studio to get this to work today, and in doing it, I didn't do it right because I was in a hurry. So her webcam is like right here. So it's kind of
trapped. I am.
She's definitely
trapped.
She's
like,
definitely
this is my
trapped.
Space, and I'm locked into it. And Stan Cook is making the point like when I'm looking at you, but it looks like I'm looking at the box like Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah.
Like,
okay.
The wrong way, like reverse.
Hold on, because I'm doing the same thing, right? That's called That's called the 180 rule of filmmaking. Hold on, let's change that around so it looks more natural.
Yeah, how do you do that? Oh, yes. Okay, so thank you, Stan Cook.
Stan Cook,
y'all!
Hooray to Stan Cook for telling us that.
You.
I did not even think of that because I'm not a very good filmmaker. So now when I look over to the Everyday Wife, I'm naturally looking over to you.
Yes, and I'm looking back at you instead of looking away from you. Which
so good. So see, that's what's so good about live streams is if I'm making a video and it's terrible, I don't get to find out till people are like, this video is terrible and you're a terrible person. I get comments like that from time to time. I think something I'm going to do, I know we're not on the topic of the video yet, but we will. But something I think I'm going to start doing on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you should. It's here. I'll put it in the link here.
Mark Reed says off by 3 pixels vertically.
Hey,
OCD triggered.
Okay, so that's my Twitter. That's my Twitter handle. You should follow me there because what we're gonna start doing is I'm gonna start taking like the worst, most stupid comments I get, and we're gonna have maybe like a daily or every other day, like, hey, this is as awesome. This is as awesome as YouTube as the internet can get. Oh, it's off by 3. It's off by 3 pixels. Let's see what we can do. We'll do some pixel surgery. Nope, that's not any better. That's not any better. Come on down.
Oh, I didn't know what he meant by the
Come
3
on
pixels.
down. Come on. Can we do it? I don't have like a mouse right now, so that's as close as we're getting. That's as close as we're getting right now.
Some people are saying that our lips are moving, but the voices don't catch up until after.
Oh, it might be the having 2 faces on screen at the same time is a little too much for my computer. We may just have to live with that lag for a little bit. Something I want to do in 2018. We're getting ready to move here pretty soon. So I don't want to invest too much in it right now. But something in 2018 is we're going to redo this whole live streaming setup. So I was using a Lumix G9. I've currently actually just like 20 minutes ago, I sold my Lumix G9 and I'm moving back to Sony. So I'm currently doing this on a Sony a6300. And the Everyday Wife's new live streaming camera is the Sony RX100 Mark V,
Yay!
which is we're going to talk more about this in a little bit, but this camera, well, it should blow you away for how darn much it costs. It not very much. It doesn't cost very much at all. Good, she's not paying attention.
What?
Nothing. It was a very well, reasonably priced camera that we're going to be using. Yes, very well, reasonably priced.
I doubt it. I know how these things go.
Yeah, no, reasonably.
But thank goodness for Patreon to help.
And we'll talk about Tyler Cornelius. How do I get a magnet? And you're the best YouTuber ever, Everyday Dad. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Tyler. And yeah, once we're done with the live stream today, I'll reach out to you and Mark Nichols, and I'll make sure we can get your address so we can send those out. It's awesome. Thanks, everybody. So, purpose of the video is, how does the Everyday Dad do what he does without somebody, the Everyday Wife,
Me.
making him sleep outside? So,
Tempting.
the question is not necessarily why do I do what I do, because, I'm the Everyday Dad. Pretty awesome. But so from a family/wife perspective, not necessarily how do you let, because we're all adults, So here's the thing of mine. You've heard me say this before. Adults don't get in trouble. Children get in trouble. Adults, make decisions and live with the consequences. So how do you feel about me doing what I do?
Honestly, initially, I was hesitant. I don't really understand YouTube per se. I knew that if I needed to know how to change a tire, I could go on YouTube and someone would show me. But I didn't understand how it would evolve into what it is now. I definitely didn't, and I really did not trust that it would grow to what it is now. I just thought you were just a goofy dude, maybe early midlife crisis-y going on, and I was like, all right, well, I'll let it happen. It's not dangerous, but maybe
I was
we'll
writing
make a couple of videos.
I was riding motorcycles in the beginning. Go ahead.
Yeah, the motorcycle thing was tough. Okay, I did not love that. But then you just kept going and going with it, and people kept responding, and I saw how you started blossoming, and I'm like, what? You're social? You? And so it just kept going, and it started paying for itself and evolving, and I just saw how happy it made you. So against my better intentions, my best judgment maybe, I just said, okay, well, you go ahead and do it, but maybe we'll just keep it on the down low. We don't got to tell anybody. Let's just, but then again, it just kept growing. We couldn't not tell people. You started getting recognized, and people started asking, and I just started saying, okay, well, he's got a YouTube channel, and people were like, oh, wow, and they were excited about it. And I was like, you're excited about it? Really? I thought it was like a young child type thing. My nephew, he'll say like he'll try to make videos, or the kids are really into it. So it just seemed like far fetched that a grown man would have a channel. So long story long, as we like to say here, I guess I just let it happen. I kind of closed my eyes at first, but now I'm just like, I just laugh at it. Like, all right, we got something new from Amazon today, or hey, babe, can you stay home and sign for this box today? I'm like, okay.
I have to ask her to do that a lot. I really appreciate it. Well, hold on one second. Mark Nichols, another $5. I'm here to help if you need me. Just let me know, Ted. Keep up the great work, brother. Well, hey, thanks very much, Mark Nichols. We'll send you 2 magnets, because that's 12. Yeah, 12. Yeah, math not good for me. But yeah, hey, everyday wife. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. When she says it's getting mentioned, it's kind of weird in that in the last week I've actually been given like 2 side job offers. People are like, hey, you're on YouTube. Hey, we're actually I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow. Hold on. I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow to help them start their own YouTube channel. Somebody wants to like hire me to help them do that. So we're gonna see what we can do for that. But what about so a more specific question. When I guess the way I asked the question initially, it was more of a YouTube thing. But how about like technology in general? So if the YouTube channel didn't exist, if the YouTube channel was not there at all, and it was just Gary buying stuff, how would you react to me just having drones? Like how can everybody out there approach their families or spouses with, hey, I want to buy a $1,300 flying camera?
I don't know, because initially I was not told about that type of investment. I didn't realize drones were as expensive as they were. I kind of just, like we had some extra spending money and it got used for a drone. And I was like, okay. And, he was flying around and our son was real excited about it. So I was like, okay, well, I guess this is a new thing we're doing. And if you guys watch all these videos, then you know that he has ever-changing hobbies and interests, and he always says he doesn't get too attached to things. That's true. So I thought, well, even if he buys it, he'll probably sell it, move on to something else, hopefully not another motorcycle.
I have 2.
So I don't know. I guess I just thought, well, drones are safer than motorcycles. Let's try it. Let's see what happens and go from there. And then it started, you got a flock of them.
A flock of what?
A flock of drones.
I only have 2 drones.
Yeah, but how many of you had?
10? 10 drones? 10?
10. So it's a lot, So, I mean, the trade-off for me was to see you happy. Even though you say I don't like technology, but
I'm not the one that says it.
I mean, I don't follow it up like you do. I mean, a lot of you guys out there know a lot more about it than me. And I can see in the comments when people ask questions, I'm like, oh, I don't know how to answer that. But, I mean, I guess just going out on a limb and just trying it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, you can always return it if you don't like it. But initially, it is a substantial amount. So, for someone that maybe doesn't have those funds, like, there's smaller ones out there, or there's these YouTube videos.
Like?
Smaller drones. Like this, you want me to say the Spark?
I did. I did want to say. I was trying to bait you
Spark.
to say that.
Spark's a great deal. I think Get Out the House said last time about like the Spark Fly More combo.
Yep,
right?
that's a thing.
Was like a good deal because now the Mavic Air is out.
Well, now I think DJI is doing the Spark by itself with the controller. So you don't necessarily have to buy the Fly More combo to get the controller with it, which makes it a fantastic deal. Fantastic deal. Okay, well, thanks, everyday wife. I'll let you go back to the comments for a minute because I know that's where you enjoy being, and we'll start getting to the comments here in a second. What do we got? Beaker Zor, the everyday wife knows her stuff. Absolutely, she does. No. Southern Adventures, you can get the controller for free right now. Yeah, the controller. If you can get the Spark with the controller, it's amazing. Like that. I don't know how low they're gonna end up going with it, but with the way that it is, the Spark's still fantastic. I get a lot of comments I get a lot of comments on my videos like, well, now you've got the Mavic Air, what's the point of the Spark? And I think the Spark and the Mavic Air are different enough. I think they're different enough in that if you can get a good deal on the Spark, it's definitely worth it. The Spark's definitely worth it. Jeff Baker, Everyday Dad, can you please shout out to London Street Parkour? Shout out to London Street Parkour. Do you do you do that ninja stuff?
Parkour is like, you pose on buildings, right? Or
it's not pose, it's like you jump.
You jump on it?
You jump. You flip around.
I thought it was planking. That's what I thought it was.
No, nope.
It's like you run and jump on it. I guess we'll have to watch his channel.
Something like that. DDA Ohio, what's wrong with riding a motorcycle? Nothing's wrong with riding a motorcycle. It's just when, your wife doesn't necessarily like it as much. I'm not saying my wife. She doesn't like it though. I did wreck my motorcycle a few months after getting it, and as I'm laying there thinking man, I think my hips shattered. Maybe I shouldn't call my wife and tell her. Maybe I'll just show up at home that night with a horrible limp and some road rash and be like, I don't know what happened. I don't know, something.
Get out the house until you lose a leg. Yes, that's exactly. Exactly. I feel like drones are a much safer hobby than motorcycles.
Jeff Baker, I honestly would not buy Mavic Pro with the Mavic Pro Platinum Mavic 2 on the horizon. So all right, so maybe, in vino veritas, there's truth in wine. I've had, half of a Southern pecan. No reaction. Half of a Southern
pecan. Did you say pecan?
I did. Half of a beer. I don't drink.
Pecan, everybody.
I don't drink very often at all. So maybe I'm just a little more loose. But I have, so there is... Yes, I think DJI will release a Mavic Pro 2 sometime in 2018. But what's frustrating me is that so there's one guy that has the information out there on Twitter, and it's frustrating to me that if you follow this guy's channel or if you follow this guy's Twitter, most of what he publishes is just his own inventions. And maybe he's right. He could 100% be right, but until we get some more solid information from maybe a DJI engineer or something, I just get not frustrated, but I feel like there's an echo chamber of well, I heard this thing from this channel, but everybody's source has been this one guy that just draws stuff. And I mean, yeah, he was pretty close on the air, and maybe he lives by a test facility, but I think we all just, I don't know where that rant is going, but if you're looking at a drone now, there are some great drones out there. Then you can always go sell your drone to get the Mavic Pro 2. So don't just totally get nothing, because at some point in the future the Mavic Pro 2 will be coming out. At some point.
Oh.
Bill Utah at Wonderwife question, where are you guys going to? We think it's going to be Virginia, but we don't know exactly where yet, and it could always change. So signs point to Virginia. We're pretty excited about it, but it's hard to get really excited about where you're going to go, because it could always, it doesn't count until you're actually there, which is, it's a perk or a frustration, or you just get used to, living with the flow. You go with you just get used to moving around. We have now lived, in the last 7 years, we've lived in, it's been 9 years now.
8.
Well, 2010.
Yeah,
8. So in the last 8 years, we've lived in Ohio, Washington, Arizona.
Georgia.
No, Ohio, Georgia, Washington, Arizona, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yes. And now Virginia here shortly. We just like moving around, I guess. It's hot in Georgia. 51 Drones was just telling me he's getting ready for 18 inches of snow, and that's nuts because
they're North Dakota, South Dakota?
I think they're you're in North Dakota, right? In Minot, North Dakota.
Is it Minot or Minot?
Minot. Well,
Minot.
Minot.
Is
I
it
think.
Maybe.
Minot? But I've got shorts on. I've got shorts on right now.
Really, keep it down. Keep it down. This is what happens when pecan beer is being drunk.
I'm wild. Watch
out.
Jeffrey Wilson, I crashed my wife Jones. Any tips on coming clean? Just buy another one and pretend it never happened. It never happened.
Do not do that. Be honest. Do you want to sleep in your bed or on the couch? Be honest.
But if they never know.
Or just buy jewelry and a new drone and just smooth it over completely. Trust.
Mark Reed, we don't really need to see those knees. I know, but it's just proving a point. Proving a point. Yeah. D Now's TV, shout out. MDB TAC giveaways. You want to do a giveaway for me? Hey, I appreciate it. You can always find my email if you want to send me something. That's awesome. Mark Nichols, I'm getting a Mavic Air in 4 weeks. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy it. So I've really, I'm just really enjoying the Mavic Air. You probably have noticed because I continue to make videos about it. I think we're done making specific videos about the Mavic Air because I'm kind of sick of making videos about it. But it's so good. The only thing that I don't like about it is how loud it is. Because the battery life and how loud it is. Because you get used to the Mavic Pro Platinum that makes no noise. It flies basically forever. And it's just so nice. It's so nice. But then do I have it over here? I don't have it over here, but the Air just fits everywhere. It's so small. It's so good. It's smart. It's just great. It's like if you've read or seen Fight Club, it's like the Tyler Durden of the narrator world. So the narrator's like the Phantom drones, the safe, neat drones. But the Mavic Air is like the Tyler Durden, the drone that the Phantom always wanted to be kind of thing. That's deep. That's deep.
Wow.
What did I even just say?
I don't know.
I'm
reading the comments, and someone was asking why I dye my hair gray. I was going to respond to it.
Go ahead.
Text, but Dave Smith, it's not dyed, buddy. It's natural. So I do not dye my hair. This is just the way it is. So thanks.
She gets that all the time. That's why she looked at me like, hey, what do I say? Because people ask her about it all the time. But no, she is a
silver fox.
Yep, sometimes you walk yourself into a minefield, and then the best way you just gotta
Christina, if you're watching, that was for you.
PRW Video just got a Hero Session 5. Thanks for the review on it. Did I do a review on the Hero 5 session? I've had a Hero 5 session. I don't know that I've done a review on it. I hope you really enjoyed it. The sessions are not my favorite action camera, but I think I really like how small they are, and they're not terrible. They're just not my favorite. Speaking of action cameras, next week for reviewing the cheapest on Monday, we're gonna do one of my most requested videos ever, besides the Mavic Air range test. We're gonna do a comparison between the Yeelight and the Akaso V50. I was out mountain biking all morning, trying to get some shots of it to see which one's actually better. Now, obviously, the Yeelight does not do 4K, but I don't really like doing action I don't really like doing action in 30 frames per second. I like doing it in 60 frames per second. So either way, using these action cameras, I'd use them in 60 frames per second. So I think it's going to be a more accurate or a more fair test than you'd think, just because it's not necessarily doing it in 4K. Please shout out to Origami Creator and Molecules. So many shout outs today. I already did Origami Creator. Deuce, double, twice shout outs to Origami Creator. Okay. 2 times.
All right, got it.
2 times.
Followed you.
2 times. What is my favorite action camera? That's a good one. So my favorite so there's 2 ways to think about what my favorite action camera are, because there's kind of 2. There's one. So I like the GoPro Hero 6 Black because it's a GoPro. It fits in all the GoPro accessories. I can use my gimbal with it. It works. It's waterproof without a case. I like all those things about it. But even after I've purchased a ridiculously expensive SD card, what? Oh, hey, Bill Utah, congratulations on passing 16,000 subscriptions. Well, hey, thanks, Bill. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we passed 16K this week. It's just been the channel's just taking us on a wild ride. of about, I think we're getting like 100 subscribers a day or something like that. So the goal for this year, if you're new to the channel, is we're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers this year. We should, I think mathematically, we should be able to do it.
If anybody can do it, you can do it.
I see what you did there.
Why?
Because if I can figure it out, you can figure it out.
What? Oh my goodness! What a great tagline.
Thanks for setting that. Thanks for giving me that softball.
Got you, boo.
So action cameras. So the GoPro Hero 6 Black is okay. Well, I mean, it's great. When it works, it's fantastic. But even with a ridiculously expensive SD card, I don't get the freezing problems. I now get like so I'll be filming, filming, done. And then it gives me like SD card error. It says SD card error on the back. And it won't even film. It won't start filming. It just gives me SD card error. And it's like, for how expensive you guys, or for how much you guys charge for this camera, like, come on, it can't do that. Like, so I go up and down. Like, even if you read my comments on my GoPro Hero 6 Black videos, like, on days when it works well, I'm like, yeah, I recommend this camera. And then you can see days where it doesn't work as well, because I'm like, nah, maybe you shouldn't get this one. So the GoPro Hero 6 is great, but as a standalone camera, the Sony FDR X3000 is probably the best action camera on the market today. The problem is that its shape is weird and it doesn't work with normal GoPro accessories. It has a 1/4-20 screw mount on the bottom, just like a regular camera does, which is nice because you can fit it in regular tripods without needing an adapter. But the shape of it means it's not going to work in like my Feiyutech G5, which is my favorite gimbal. It doesn't work. It's not waterproof without a case, so you lose a lot of the audio when you put it in its waterproof case. But it is one of the only action cameras that has a 3.5mm jack built into it, so you can plug in like a Rode Micro or a Rode Video Mic Pro, or you can actually plug a real microphone into it. So it's fantastic. I've been trying to streamline my action camera stable, because I only ever use at most 2 action cameras at once. And I've got like 5 action cameras right now. And one of the ones I keep thinking about selling is the Sony FDR X3000, because I don't use it as much just because it doesn't work with my gimbal. But it's so good. I just cannot bring myself to get rid of it. And now I probably won't get rid of it because it uses the same batteries as my new the Sony RX100, which is great. I love it when batteries are compatible with each other. What's up?
I'm just laughing to myself. But you probably just answered this question anyway, and I'll be embarrassing myself. But 51 Drones question: why'd you sell the G9? Did you answer that?
Oh, why did I sell the G9? Oh, I did not answer that yet. So I love the Lumix G9. The Lumix G9 is, no kidding, like one of the best cameras I've ever had in my life. It broke my heart to sell it. But so the reason I sold it is I think I can do more for the channel with 2 decent cameras, like the Sony RX100. I've got the Sony A6300 that I'm looking at you guys at. There's more things I can do with 2 decent cameras instead of 1 amazing camera. I was thinking about buying buying the RX100 5 with the Lumix G9, but it's kind of like, it's hard to spend that much on 2 cameras when you've got, you're a small channel. So I love the Lumix G9. I hope to be able to buy one again someday, because it's so good. I loved that camera. Micro Four Thirds is awesome because they're small, they're compact. The photos were great. The video was great. The autofocus, I keep seeing videos online of like how terrible the autofocus is, but the autofocus I never had a problem with, and it always worked really well for me. And I loved it. I loved it. Trying to move everything over to Sony. I'm not as happy about using the Sony A6300. The autofocus is awesome. The lenses, there are good lenses for the Sony, but they're more expensive. I've had problems with the A6300 in the past of overheating with 4K. But it was just a decent camera. I got a really good deal on it. And I'm trying to move over to Sony in the future. So this week, Sony released the A7 III. I almost bought that, but that's like a $2,100 camera. And then I definitely wouldn't have the second camera. What's that face for?
Is that the only thing you wouldn't have if you bought that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But yeah, so I really thought about getting the A7 III because that 4K full frame reasonably priced. I mean, it's incredibly expensive, but for cameras, it's very reasonably priced. And I really wanted that, but I almost then got the A6500. But if I'm going to move to an A6XXX, I don't really do a lot of moving pieces. I don't do enough to warrant what the A6500 has. I'm going to end up getting a gimbal for this anyway, so I don't need in-body image stabilization. But that in-body image stabilization on the G9, I never even needed to put it on a tripod to take a picture. You can do like a 1-second exposure handheld. That's how good the stabilization on the G9 is. It's just, I'm going to miss it. It's over in the room, packed up, ready to be shipped out, and breaks my heart. Breaks my heart a little bit. But we're actually going to have another camera coming in. Well, it's a phone.
A phone?
A phone.
What kind of phone?
I pre-ordered the Samsung Galaxy S9 a few days ago. Well, on the day that you pre-ordered it first. So I'm really excited to try that out because I've been trying to move away from my iPhone because I love the Mac. I love the iWatch. I like my AirPods, but the iPhone just drives me crazy. Even though I'll have to get rid of my iWatch if I switch over to that. But I'm very excited about the Samsung Galaxy S9. The camera on it looks to be... If the camera's as good as... So the video I'm most excited to try out here shortly is I'm going to do an RX 105 versus the Samsung Galaxy S9. Just to kind of compare. Does the sensor matter or does the processor inside of it matter? Because the processor is what the phone has over the camera. Nick Fam TV... Just because you always answer questions I send, well, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. That's awesome.
They made a comment earlier, too, about giving you a shout-out in their video. So we'll have to check it out.
We'll absolutely have to check that out. So if you guys have a channel, shoot me, tweet it to me, send me an Instagram message. Don't necessarily send me a YouTube message because I may not see it because the YouTube messaging system is a nightmare. And if you leave a comment of a video, it may get... So I've got a filter, like an automatic filter put up. I try to check like all my blocked messages, but I might miss it. So if you do have a channel, I love checking out everybody's stuff. Shoot me a tweet, DM or something, and I'll definitely check out your guys' channel. Definitely check out channels.
Okay, so when you bought the S9, is your intention to switch out of the Apple footprint?
No. So I'm not going to... who asked?
Well, Jeff Baker wants to buy your iWatch.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought, oh, my goodness, it's a Samsung, so, right?
Yeah, the
it's
iWatch.
Android.
The AirPods will still work.
With the Android?
Yeah. The watch will not work. It only works with iPhones.
Oh.
I don't know yet. I got to try out a Samsung Gear Watch, I guess, to see how it works. One of the channels that it's actually like the top of my recommended channels. He's a guy named Des Fit. He does a bunch of stuff about fitness, like watches and shoes and stuff. And
sorry.
What?
Thomas.
And
Thomas.
So he does a whole bunch of stuff like that, and he did a video about one of the Galaxy watches that really intrigued me. It's actually cheaper than the iWatch, and if I like the S9, I'll switch over to that and then a Samsung watch. So maybe this might be up for sale shortly. I'll probably end up keeping the iPhone just because some things, it's good for like a tech review channel to be able to review apps that are on like an iPhone and versus the Android and stuff like that, and going back and forth. AC Vissanu, I'm not going to get the 18-core iMac. No, because that costs more than my truck.
No, he's not getting that AC. He's not getting
I would
that one.
love to have it. I saw iPhondo just very recently released a video about that computer, and looks like an amazing computer, but it costs...
looks amazing from a distance.
It'll have to look amazing from a distance because it costs more than my truck.
It's great to know that you have boundaries. I want to keep your house and stuff.
Jeff Baker, great idea. Thomas Gerardis. Everyone go to subscribe to the Wonder Wife channel. Hey, speaking of the Wonder Wife channel,
no.
What was your first ever thing you did today? You did this for the very first time today. Kind of YouTube related.
Oh, what? What is it? Tell us.
Just what did we do?
You guys are going to laugh and make fun of me because
We're not gonna
I'm
do
the
that.
biggest hypocrite. Get ready for it. But I got a new dental product, and I thought it'd be fun to do a little spotlight, and I unboxed it on video.
She made her, we filmed an unboxing video with the Everyday Wife.
Okay. So, I mean, I can't stand unboxings, and I went ahead and did one. I harped on you for putting them in your videos. They're boring. But then I got to be in front of the camera and then have a coach. So Gary stood there and coached me and was like, okay, what are you doing? And do this and try this and don't look down and look up and look at the camera. Don't look at me. So that is stressful. And he's like, repeat yourself again. Repeat yourself again. Repeat yourself again. I'm like, okay, but can't you just edit it with the first one? I said it right. But
yeah, we're dev. So I don't know.
I did an unboxing.
Is that gonna go on the Wonder Wife channel?
Shame.
Or where are you gonna publish that?
I don't know yet exactly. Because after it's filmed and edited, I have to show it to the marketing director and then get it approved to post so that it's not a conflict of interest.
Okay.
So there you go.
So yeah, the Everyday Wife made her very first unboxing today. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? It was a really good time. It's really weird though, because for the Everyday Dad, when I'm making videos, it's just me trying to like see how everything's going like by myself. Sometimes I can see what the camera sees, sometimes I can't. One of the frustrating things about using Sony cameras. And it was weird being the cameraman that had control over everything, and I was like, oh, we have so much light. There's too much. I have options now. What do I do with the options and the audio? It was nuts. It was nuts. But it was fun. It was an awful lot of fun. So next up, we've got Savannah River Brewing Company, no jacket required, Czech Republic style Pilsner. We're going to check that out.
No jacket required?
No jacket required.
Sounds like your type of party.
Well, yeah, because Hogwarts or Gryffindor, one or the other.
Get your cape? Is that what you're trying to say? Bring a cape, no jacket required?
He has a cloak.
Wait, doesn't that Ron Weasley, didn't he need a coat?
Well, he doesn't. He
needed a cloak.
Yeah, cloak. We're like robes. They wore robes.
Like, I'm only like this much nerd, but he's like this much nerd. So
a lot of it nerd.
I can't recall the nerdiness quick enough.
That's why I wear the Gryffindor shirts. No big deal. Carlos Jamel, and I think you were drunk. Well, he said it first.
What?
He said it first. So I am kind of a lightweight.
It's my call. Chug, chug, chug.
I am kind of a lightweight.
Oh, man.
Nick Fam TV, my son loves his Samsung watch. We are a family that tried the Apple products but went back to Samsung. Yeah, so I'm a really big fan of like the Apple ecosystem. I really like it, but there's some things about the iPhone that I just do not like. I think there's a few things that phones need to have, and iPhones just don't have them. SD card expandability, headphone jacks. I guess that's really the big thing.
That was really loud.
Those are really the big things. And then the iPhone, even though the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 works better with the iPhone than the other ones, if you try to move fast, you'll still get that warping issue. So I need another phone to be like the camera when I'm using my gimbals. And if I can make it so my phone, I only need one, then that's even better. So I'm really excited for the Samsung S9. I was going to go for the S9 Plus because it does have the dual cameras in the back, but so here's the thing that I'm really curious about. If the S9 is as good of a camera as everybody says it is, it's so fantastic, it does everything low light, then what is the point of having this? Like, if it does that well, I'm going to return the RX 105 because there's no point in having it because it does everything the RX 105 does anyway, except that's not a totally factual statement because the RX 105, I was using it today to snap some pictures, take some video, and it's an amazing camera for what it costs. I mean, I guess it should be amazing, but it has like built-in ND filters. It is basically, if you've been watching the channel for a while, I had a Panasonic LX10, which was the Lumix version of a 1-inch sensor. A 1-inch sensor pocket camera, and it was a fantastic camera too. Did 4K, did lots of great photos, but it's a subtle difference between this and the RX. I mean, the RX also costs like $500 more, but I really have been impressed just in the last day or two. Lucky me, big sensor hot shoe mount. The RX does not have a hot shoe mount at all. It has a flash. Hold on. Oh, my finger's on it. There, it has a flash. It has a viewfinder. It does not have a hot shoe mount. If it had a hot shoe mount, it would be amazingly awesome. Or an audio in. It doesn't have an audio in, which is nuts. Okay, what do we got? There were a few more things I wanted to talk about, and then we can just go straight to the comments, even though we've kind of gone straight to the comments already. Well, I guess we did. We talked about the G9, the RX 105. So, yeah.
Carlos wants to know what lights we use behind, and Stan agrees with you about iPhones working better with drones.
What lights we use behind what? These are, so she's got an aperture, I forget what it's called, but it's like the small LED light panel. You can kind of, mine's easier to get to. They look kind of, this is a newer one. Not newer as in it's younger, but newer as in like newer the company. This is a CN160, and she's got basically the same thing, but for aperture. And they're just really nice because it kind of separates you from the background. And when you're using a light like a ring light, you can see it here. It does shadows. It creates like a shadow, and it's kind of frustrating. So if you have a light, like a light, it's not a fill light. If you have like a background light, it kind of cuts down on those shadows, and it's really nice. She's got like I said, it's basically the same thing, but with a different company. It's called Aperture instead. Thomas Gertis, Everyday Dad, how's the Pilsner? It's all right. It's not as good as the Pecan. It's not as good as the Pecan one, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You know, so I can't remember the last beers I've actually had. New Year's?
Did you have a drink on New Year's?
Maybe, but so if I go big, or if I'm going to buy it, I might as well get the nice stuff, so... I got the small breweries this time. Small brewery.
Got it, everybody?
Queen Awesome Gaming, would I use a gimbal even if the camera had OIS? Yes. So I released a video a few months ago talking about how I think gimbals are going to go away because...
You do?
I don't, but I released a video saying that because at the time I did... Because you look at things like the GoPro Hero 6, which has electronic image stabilization. That's amazing. The iPhones and the Galaxy S9s and all the new cameras seem to be coming out with stabilization. That's amazing. Lumix G9 has amazing stabilization. The GH5 has amazing stabilization. But gimbals are getting crazy cheap, and cameras are starting to move back to having... Because it's hard to get a gimbal to work properly if something has optical image stabilization. Because basically how... they get optical image stabilization to work is they've got like a magnet field like surrounding the sensor, and that is what makes it like stabilize a little more. But that can wreak havoc if something else is trying to stabilize it at the same time. So I think because the way gimbals are getting cheaper and cheaper and lighter, I think we're going to start seeing less of optical image stabilization, or optical image stabilization is going to be something that's just used for photos, so you can just handhold it and take the picture. But yeah. Yes. Bill Utah, you bought a gimbal? What gimbal did you get? I love gimbals. Gimbals are awesome. William Kelly, do I have a GoPro adapter for my Osmo Mobile 2? I do not, because I have a Feiyutech G5. So if I'm taking out the GoPro, I throw it in the Feiyutech. The reason I don't have it with the Osmo Mobile is the Osmo Mobile is not as water resistant as the Feiyutech. The Feiyutech's not waterproof, but you could use it in a rainstorm, whereas I would never take the Osmo Mobile 2 in a rainstorm. I guarantee it wouldn't survive.
Oh.
It wouldn't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Waterproof? No, this.
Bill Utah got a DJI Osmo Mobile 2. That's awesome. That's awesome. The only thing, there's two things I don't like about the Osmo Mobile 2. I don't like how cheap it feels. That plastic just feels bad. And I don't like that the trigger moved from the front to like a multi-function button that also does like the trigger functions. I like being able to... What?
Nothing.
I didn't curse.
No.
Oh. But...
Say functions.
Functions.
All right, go on.
Ma'am.
Go on then, Box.
So, I like that the trigger worked the other way better. I did. Jeff Baker also selling my Osmo Mobile in favor of the Zhun. Ugh.
And Jeffrey Wilson says he's thinking of a June Crane. Thoughts?
I'll get back to hold that thought about the
talking
Zhun
about
Crane.
The Zhun.
So the Zhun Smooth Q is basically, so DJI Osmo Mobile came out. Then the Zhun Smooth Q came out, and they're all like stealing from each other. It's like this snake eating itself thing where they all like. So the next Zhun product will look probably an awful lot like the Osmo Mobile 2. But the Smooth Q, I would prefer the Osmo Mobile 2, I think, over the Smooth Q. I like that the Smooth Q does do 360 degrees. I like that. They're really similar, but I like the DJI Go app more than I liked the Z Play, I think it's called, the Zhun app. That way. What is... And then the Crane. Yeah, I had a Crane M for a while. It was a good gimbal. I guess I'd recommend. I haven't had another one of the big Cranes. They're a good gimbal. So if you're gonna use a Crane, you gotta make sure your camera weighs the right amount for the gimbal you're using. So like I was using a Lumix G7 with the Crane M, which was like right on the edge of being too heavy, and there were certain things that I couldn't do with the gimbal that I could do if I had the proper one. So I would say yes to the Crane, but I'm really excited for the Ronin S that's coming out. Yes, it's Mike Hall waiting for the wine coolers to come out. I think we have some downstairs.
This is like a high school party.
Woo! Mom's gone. Where's the margarita mix? We just got to drink the
Look,
the
do you think this
mix.
is really just Powerade?
Okay.
That's how you sneak vodka in places. What?
What do we got?
Let's see.
London Street Parkour. What is the best camera drone I can get for under $100? You can save that $100 and save up for something better. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck when I say that, but you're not going to get a good camera drone. You're not.
It's 100 pounds. Just
Okay.
know. Is it
But
equivalent to
it's
dollars?
roughly, it's what, like $150?
Oh,
I think.
I don't know.
But I would keep saving because you're not going to find anything good for that amount. The lowest I would recommend for a good beginner camera drone would probably be the DJI Spark, which just went on a pretty big sale, and you can get the controller with it. So definitely check that out. For that little money, unless you can find like a deal on a used Phantom 3 on eBay or something, you're just not going to get, you're just basically throwing your money away. What? Wonder Wife is hitting the antifreeze.
That made me laugh. I was like,
Carlos-
well, I guess so.
Carlos Jamalin, will I buy a DJI Ronin S? Depending on the price, I am planning on buying the Ronin S. So far, I am on track with everything I said I was excited about that came out at CES. I have purchased so far. So it was the Sony XA2 phone I was really excited about. Wow, I'm totally blanking.
What are you asking about?
What did I say that I was really excited about? Oh, the Autel Evo I haven't gotten yet. That's still coming out.
The stuff from the thing?
The conference that I hope to go to next year.
The robots. I liked the robots.
The robot dog from Sony.
Like the AI stuff. That seemed pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, you like that Autel Evo thing.
Yeah, it
Talked
hasn't
about
released yet.
forever.
I guess there's only one thing from CES that I already got, and that was the cell phone, the Sony XA2. But I'm planning on getting the Ronin S. I'm planning on getting the Autel Evo. There's all sorts of stuff that I'm just excited about this year. I'm really excited about. Jeff Baker, let's go to CES together. Absolutely.
Road trip.
I just gotta find out what job I'm doing next year.
Thanks for looking up the current exchange rate.
138.03. Oh, I was close. Close. I was gonna say closest without going over, but I absolutely went over. So, bum bum ba
Did you say
dum.
150? Or you did. Yeah, you
That
were
was
over.
a Price is Right.
I'm not
Price
quick at
is
math.
Right.
Let's see.
Bill Utah, how was at Wonder Wife's drone flight? So we will be doing that probably tomorrow. So I think what's going to happen is, this Drone Flight Friday will be the Drone Flight Friday where the Everyday Wife flies her very first drone. Because Monday's going to be the action camera comparison between these two. Wednesday, I'm going to do the comparison between an iPhone and the Sony XA2 camera because I'm actually going to use the camera app this time. And then Friday will be the Everyday Wife's first flight. I'm so proud of her. She's grown up. Hopefully, she only gets to fly the Spark though.
Oh man, have another drink, man.
She only gets to fly the Spark.
Chug, chug, chug.
I'm not chugging. Stan Cook, CS is not a consumer expo. Isn't it the Consumer Electronics
Electronic?
Show? I'm just saying.
CES is a wonderland. That's right.
Thomas Gerardis wouldn't mind getting a hold of a Telo drone. Yeah, I'm really excited for those two. I think that's going to be more of like a play around with drone. I actually saw a, what is it? We were at Best Buy today. I saw like a Parrot FPV drone. I may buy that to try it out because it came with like goggles and stuff. Pretty awesome.
Somebody asked about.
They're on sale right now? Are they? I'm supposed they're supposed to give me a heads up when they're out. Hold on. To DJI's website. DJI.com.
Like, is that on YouTube that you're looking right now?
No, it's on the internet. The internet. Bum bum ba bum.
It's gonna be more animated than normal, you guys.
You're more animated than normal.
Wow, and the jokes are gonna be flat, but that's not gonna stop him.
Telo, okay, not there.
Definitely not.
Telo drone. Buy Telo, DJI store.
Let's see.
Tax included, USD coming soon. It doesn't say it's in yet. Where are you guys seeing it for sale? It's not on DJI. Let's see here. Rise Robotics. Let's see if we can buy it straight from the buy now. But it took me to DJI. Yeah, I don't see it.
Amazon. People are saying Amazon.
Let's go to Amazon. That's nuts. If it's on Amazon before anybody else. I mean, I do love me some
That's
Amazon.
what happened with my dental product. It got
I do love me some
like
Amazon.
released early on Amazon. So
Telo.
I don't know.
Telo quadcopter powered by DJI.
Everybody's asking, where's your Coke Cherry Zero?
In stock, sold by the DJI official store. Adding to cart. I'm buying this right now.
Wait, how much is it?
Yeah, don't worry about it. What's in my cart?
Wow, you're just really brazen tonight.
I don't need this thing though. This thing I already have. Okay.
And somebody asked your career field, and Mike Hall said, Ted works as a beer promoter, hence the beer plugs in the video. Yeah, I see he works for a small brewery.
Yeah, I know. I wish. Even though I don't drink as much. Okay, so you guys are watching me purchase a Telo right now.
Wait.
Well, you're not watching
me
purchase it, but
we don't want our credit card information out there in the wild.
Yeah. So we're buying a Telo right now. I'll show you guys the confirmation. Name on the card, The Everyday Dad, Amazon. Card number, you guys don't get to hear that. Whoa, I just kind of said some of the numbers then.
Babe! Get out of the chat.
I said to myself, hey, I'm not going to say that. And then I immediately said it.
Somebody said you're a pecan farmer.
Yeah, that's why we moved to Georgia.
Yes.
We moved to Georgia so we could farm those pecans.
Get that next day shipping, somebody says.
Okay. Use this address. No, I don't want to use that address. I want to use this address. Okay. I don't want a free trial of that. Standard shipping. Quantity. Okay.
Are you only buying one, right? Only one?
But what?
Just one, right?
One-ish. Okay, hey, order has been placed. So, everybody, we have now purchased.
You don't need to be showing that on the YouTube. Trust me, people, he bought it.
We have now purchased the Telo, and we'll try it out. We should get it next week. So, this week will be the Everyday Wife. Whoa, there's the email confirmation. This week will be the Everyday Wife doing her very first drone flight, and then the week after that, we will do the Telo. So the Telo is going to be more of like just a play around drone. It's not going to be like an actual camera drone. It's not even made by DJI. It's made by a company called Rise, R-Z-Y-E or R-Y-Z-E. They just license a bunch of DJI's technology to use it, which I think is pretty smart on DJI's part to get people out there using their stuff. So maybe they're going to end up being the Samsung of the drone world where everybody licensed like their processors. Like Samsung provides all the screens and all the inside technologies for a lot of the stuff. Or like Sony with sensors. Like what, 80% of all cameras on the earth use a Sony sensor? Like I think
do?
I think that was definitely a made up statistic off the top of my head.
Okay.
But most cell phone cameras use Sony sensors. Who else uses Sony sensors? Like, I think there's a big camera company that actually uses Sony sensors. But stuff like that is pretty excited. Pretty excited.
Fantastic.
Pretty exciting. AC Visnu, are you getting a gamepad controller for the Telo? Control by phone sucks. We'll have to find out because, I just ordered it without really researching it.
Oh, that's a first.
All right, 55 minutes. We will do 5 more minutes, and then we will call it an evening. We generally do these for about an hour. Have a great time. I'm having a great time. Are you having a great time?
I'm having a hoot.
She's having a hoot. We will do the Google Hangout. I'll post the link for the patrons for the Google Hangout as soon as we're done here. Hopefully now that we can actually do one for the first time, even though we keep saying we're going to do them. We will have to check on the Everyday Kid first. He normally goes to bed when we do live streams. He is not in bed. Maybe he's asleep now. Maybe. What else do we got? If you have any more questions or comments, we got 5 more minutes to get through them. 51 drones going out to buy a Telo. Yeah, I seriously did not know. That you could just buy it. Ted definitely works as a beer promoter. When is the Coca-Cola coming back? Well, we got like 5 cases of it, so it'll be back.
Shortly.
It'll definitely be back by the next week. Because this week definitely needed some... This was one of those weeks. Skeptical Zach, thanks for coming out. Stan Cook, hope you're enjoying your dinner time. Wayne Dawson, did I see your sponsorship drone? I remember you telling me about it, but if you could give me some more information on it, that sounded like an awesome drone. Kevin Nichols, worth investing in a camera for a small channel or just stick with the smartphone? Just kind of depends on what you're doing. If you're just making videos, like if you're vlogging or something, I would say stick with your phone until the channel is has a revenue to purchase stuff on. Or if you're gonna get a beginner's camera or something like that, I would recommend a Lumix G7. You get them for like $400 if you find a deal on them. But they're great. They're probably the best entry-level camera on the market. They got 4K. It's a Micro Four Thirds camera. Yeah, the G7 is amazing. AC Visanu, get WW some of what you were drinking. Wonder Wife, would you like some?
Oh.
No jacket required. Czech Republic style Pilsner.
I'm good, thank you.
Well,
so sweet.
Thanks for the super chat, AC.
Thanks, AC.
Jeffrey Wilson just bought a G7. I need content ideas. It definitely took a while for me to understand. So once you get in the rhythm of things, it's really easy to think of video ideas because I've got a month's worth of video ideas in front of me at any given time. But at first I was like, what am I making a video on today? When I was doing daily vlogs, which was a nightmare, I never had any idea of what video I was making until it just kind of happened, which was why they were pretty rough videos. Yeah, yes, it's Mike Hall. I definitely agree. Lighting and sound will make a huge difference. Even a crappy camera will look better with good lighting and sound. For example, go check out my video about a $75 YouTube studio setup. I made a mistake in that video where I had my white balance on the good camera that I was using was off. The camera and lens combination I was using for that video was $1,500. It looked bad because the white balance was off and the lighting was off. The $75 smartphone and cheap lighting looked so much better because the lighting and white balance was correct. So I totally agree that a bad camera or a lower end camera looks better when you get good lighting. And Stan Cook, thanks very much. Yeah, you can absolutely support us on Patreon if you want to. There is a link for that in the description below. There are certain perks and levels, and when you reach them, you get to hang out in the Google Hangout. Saturdays after the live stream. If there's a certain level where you also get the magnet and the postcard, and if you just donate at all, anything you can, which we really appreciate, everybody. Which reminds me, hold on. So anything you want to do, you get a guaranteed 100% response rate for me on any of my social media channels, which speaking of Patreon, Stan, thank you very much. That was something that I did not mention that I wanted to. We do a segment on the live streams every week, thanks to the new patrons of the week. And I want to say thank you to our very newest patron, Mark Williams.
Yay! Thank you.
So, Mark Williams, thank you so much for joining us and being part of the team. We really appreciate it. And we are currently at 59:35, so I think that is going to be it for the night.
Night, Thomas.
So thanks everybody for coming out. We love doing these live streams. It's seriously my favorite part of the week. I know people were complaining about the lag this week. We'll try to figure out what's going on. Like I said, I totally revamped everything about the live stream.
Night, Carlos.
So we'll have to figure out maybe what was happening. I like how this was set up. I like having both of us on camera at once, especially now that it looks like we're looking at each other and not looking away.
Thanks for the
troubleshooting. Thanks to Stan Cook for helping us out.
Nico says to remove the logo and expand the cameras in the comments. So
yeah, that's something we can do. Like I said, this is the first time we've done it. There's all sorts of stuff to find out, but thanks everybody for coming out. We love doing these live streams. We'll see you next Saturday are we going to see everybody next Saturday?
What's the date?
We will not on St. Patrick's Day weekend. We will not be doing a live stream. 10th,
we'll be here next Saturday, but the Saturday after that, St. Patrick's Day, we are busy.
Okay, so we'll see everybody next Saturday, but the Saturday after that, we will not see everybody because we've got something to go to. So thanks everybody for coming out and have a very great weekend.
Good night.
Hold on when I find there we go.